Well, good evening, sports fans. How are you all doing? Brahma, my friend, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you. Doing pretty good. Still recovering from Dallas.
Yeah, I'll bet.
There was some late nights.
Was it? Yeah, I was going to say late nights. Were the mornings difficult?
The mornings were very difficult because, yeah. So Wednesday night I went on the Humps after show, and we went really late. I think till 2:30 in the morning, which is a lot later when you're getting up at 6 or 7 the next morning, and you're on Dallas time. That's not your normal timeline.
Yeah.
So that one was late. Then we had the meetup. We got done with the meetup at 10:30, and then started our stream. It was supposed to start at 11. Started closer to midnight. Then we went till about 3:30. Then I had to drive the hour 20 back to where I was staying. So we got home at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Yeah. So that one was late. And the wife refused to go back out on Friday because of Thursday. But I went and hung out with the guys on Friday night too, and stayed until about 2:30, and then drove back to Fort Worth. And then Saturday night, since we weren't doing our show, I was just scanning around, and I ended up on Zach's show because he was doing he was covering one of Vigilante Williamson's old interviews with a guy named Hunter J. That it was insane. So since I was in the chat the night that interview actually took place, I was like, Zach, so you got to pop me a line. So
sure,
I got on there, and we went another 3 or 4 hours, and then I went to bed at about 3:30. So,
you admire your stamina, the stamina of a young man.
Yeah, not feeling that young, but it was a good week. I mean, I wasn't expecting to try to be on any shows like Wednesday and Saturday, but it just kind of worked out that way. Everybody else was asleep, so I was like, I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, good for you, mate. Yeah, I was so sorry to have to miss it, but I would have been, unless I was getting carted around in a wheelchair, I wouldn't have been able to be there.
Yeah.
Given my current state of play of the back situation, but at least I have to say, as I was saying off camera, at least I know what it is now, or there is a diagnosis. An official one, so maybe I can get it fixed. Yeah,
and that's important that they're at least figuring it out now. I do have some stuff that I brought back from Dallas that'll be going up in the background. That's the 1/4 quarter black Garrett.
Oh right, yeah. Let me just put that up. There you go.
Yeah, we got that one. It's
nice.
Highly reflective. We got a Punk Waddle sticker.
Oh, cute.
Got Cultures.
Oh my god, yeah.
one of our Yelling at Parked Cars ones.
Nice.
For comics, then the other comics division one. The Toxic Man Flu one.
Nice. Where's yours?
Then, of course, I had mine out there, so there was mine.
Brilliant, mate. Nice collection. Very good.
Yeah. So those are going to pop up in the background somewhere. And I go to Buc-ee's for the first time ever. And I got this new sign that's behind me. It's not really showing much on the screen, but it says, I told myself that I should stop drinking, but I'm not about to listen to a drunk that talks to himself. My wife saw it at Buc-ee's and was like, yeah, you've got to get that one. I was like, if you're giving me permission, sure.
Nice, mate. Yeah. No, I missed you all, and I missed Dallas. Obviously, I love being in Dallas, but next year, hopefully it'll all be sorted and I'll be there. So what was it like sharing a bed with Nick, though? I mean, couldn't you have just got your own room instead?
Oh, that wasn't my deal. I think that was Culture.
You know what? I know it's expensive, but I just can't share.
Oh, no. I
can't share.
I stayed at my parents' place because they live down there. So it's like a family vacation. Plus, I'm doing all my stuff. But, I mean, nobody in the house seems to understand that I'm going to be busy like that whole week. So, I mean, the family all thinks we're on vacation, hanging out with them. So I leave the wife and the kids with them, and I'm running all over freaking Dallas and Fort Worth to meet up with everybody and hang out. So
see what's wrong with that picture. I really don't.
Yeah.
Cool. So welcome everyone in the chat here on YouTube and also here over on Rumble. Hopefully the Rumble side's running okay. I haven't fired it up yet, but I think Brahma, you're hopefully keeping an eye on that too.
The chat's working.
It's working? Good. Over there.
And I'm trying to find what Chris said he sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call that up. So, yeah, we're going okay over there. Let me just, Smokey is over there, Crimlon is over there, and here on the tubes, we've got Chris. Yeah, Chris is chatting away, sharing things with us. Smokey's also over on this side, Crimlon's on this side. Feel free, everyone, to go over and watch it on Rumble too. Have both going.
Yeah, why not? It's a different show on each channel, you know.
It is, yeah. We actually have stereo, which is a different chat. Well, this is it. It's two chats. You can chat. Say more on Rumble, I'm sure. Memes of Destruction is here. How you doing? We have my great friend, my new friend, Disney sheep herder, who I briefly dropped into Snowdub's Cotton Council, and there was some idiot called Jock on there. So I left.
And thank you to Snowdub for the raid.
And thanks for the raid, but Disney Sheepherder, and thanks for subscribing, Disney Sheepherder. Memes we mentioned. Chris, we mentioned. Mike DiCarlo is here. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, buddy. I don't want to miss anybody. Keely Chow. Good to see you, Keely. Good evening to you. Our great buddy, Steve, Canadian Spider-Man. Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully see you in person soon, sometime over the summer. Snowdub, yeah, thanks for the raid, buddy. Great show tonight.
I got to meet Snowdub while I was down there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is he as buff and manly as he pretends?
Oh, definitely. But yeah, he enjoyed playing jokes on everybody. Just saying, hey, I know that guy, and trying to figure out who he was, and if you had never seen him in person before. Yeah. And then you kind of hear the voice, and it's like, yeah, I know who it is.
That's right. Yeah. You're the voice. Yeah.
Yep.
Silky, sultry tones. Yes.
The jolly voice.
The jolly voice. Yes. He's more of a Mike Roach, I think, though, really. I always think of Mike Roach.
I figured that was more his natural speaking voice, but I think he was just doing the jolly voice the whole time.
I see it's the jolly voice is natural, and the Mike Roach is his personality.
Right. And his disease.
His disease is more than one, probably. So we thought we'd do a final. I say final because we'll do intermittent shows throughout the summer, I think, when the maybe monthly. We thought we'd do a final wrap-up, Bourbon and Boarding, now that the season is officially over. I mean, for God's sake, it's nearly July and they were still playing. Playing hockey.
And there's only one person that I know that is actually happy about who won, and that was Tugs. So,
really,
the other part of the show, I'm doing Sazerac Rye tonight. You having anything, or are you still on?
No, I can't. I'm on so many pills. I'm probably higher than a kite, and I just don't realize it. I don't think it's that.
You know, the bourbon helps with the pills. It's a little bit more numbing.
It certainly would put me. I'd be out within seconds. But
right.
I'm pretty tired as it is, fighting the pain off. But yeah, I'm not drinking anything tonight. But the Sazerac, I think I've still got a bottle of that tucked away somewhere.
It's a good one. Same company as Buffalo Trace.
Yeah,
this is their rye product.
So yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot, and we'll probably do a fairly short show, like an hour or so.
Yeah,
don't have a lot of clips or anything because there's no point in recapping the last few games of the Stanley Cup, which I felt were just. I mean, I did watch some of it, and I thought this is just a trouncing, really. You know, I mean, and that last game was just a farce.
That last game was ridiculous, 9-3.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
show some balls, you know.
Yeah, well, supposedly Kachuk was pretty injured, and he was about the only thing Florida had going for him through most of the playoffs, it seemed. So, I don't know, but Florida, at least they didn't get swept this time in the finals like last time.
True, they got one game.
Yep, that's one more than they got in 95-96.
That's true. I just can't help but think, though, that, I mean, I'm sure the fans of every team out there that were in the playoffs are thinking, "Oh God, we could have won that thing," you know.
Yeah, it's one of those years where probably not the best team in the NHL actually won.
They didn't. I mean, relatively consistent team, and fair play
Yeah.
to them. They were top of the West before
They got
the
it done
playoffs,
in
weren't they?
tournament
They
time.
got it done. So fairly consistent, beatable. I think. I mean, especially for me as a Stars fan, if Suter just hadn't given the puck away towards the end of game 2, we could have won that game in Vegas, and things might have turned out entirely differently. But that's coulda, woulda, shoulda, I guess.
Yeah.
They were definitely beatable. I mean.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, fair play to them. I mean, the long drought in Nevada is over. 6 long years.
Well,
the
you gotta
Bettman
feel
Golden Knights have won.
For the Florida Panthers, though, because I mean, that was actually a very, very good run from them. I mean,
it was.
What was it? A month and a half ago, we were, shocked that they actually beat Boston, and then they just kept on a roll.
Yeah. Certainly, yeah, you can't fault them for that. I mean, they won the games other than the finals. The final, they won the games they had to win. But teams like Boston and even Toronto to a certain extent, and everybody should be kicking themselves.
Yeah,
I think, and I don't think there'll be such an opportunity next year. I think it'll be a lot tougher next year.
Well, and Vegas, I think, is keeping something like 20 of their players are still signed for next year. So they'll have the same team. I don't think they'll have the same outcome.
I don't think so, no.
And Vegas odds don't say so either. They're not getting much respect from Vegas, from the Vegas odds makers.
Very few people were pleased about that one. And a lot of people said, well, it's great when you're 15 million over the salary cap.
Yeah.
Like when is something,
the game.
Yeah, when is something going to be done about that?
Yeah.
So it wasn't Stone on LTIR till this playoffs.
Probably. Yeah. So he didn't count against the cap.
That's right.
They just signed players with his paycheck.
Yeah, they did. They're so far over it. Now, to be fair, the second most over the cap team was Montreal, and you can't exactly say it's worked out well for them. So.
No.
So I do have for as a Canadian and for our fellow Canadians watching the show, we have seen this kind of disrespect coming our way.
That's funny.
It's quite funny, to be honest, but
couldn't be a more deserving country.
It's you wouldn't believe. I mean, I obviously am amongst a lot of in this area Calgary and Edmonton fans, and the Edmonton fans in particular. There was Edmonton fans on the resort when we were on holiday. They were like, I think they're in despair, and now they must be even worse that Jack Eichel has a Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
and McJesus doesn't.
Yeah, well. And for some reason, they've been put at the top of the odds for next year again. And it's like, who is actually looking at Edmonton and saying, these guys can do it, when really there's 2 guys and then no defense and a pretty poor goalie. I mean, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen this story before.
Yeah. But they're tied at the top there's 4 teams that are favored to win next year. There's Edmonton, there's Colorado, there's Boston, and I can't remember who the 4th is. And then Toronto's 5th. So some of those odds makers are just on drugs. Toronto, they can't eat. They got out of the first round, everybody.
They did.
Massive victory. Let's make them just slightly less than the upper tier favorites for the Cup next year.
You see, they've learned so much from the experience. That's what hockey teams always say. Well, we've learned so much.
I think they do it because they know that Toronto fans will bet it and then lose all their money, because it's not going to happen. I think they make the odds look very very appealing for the Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and then I
wonder who the 4th team was. I'm just going to look that up.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to remember.
We can see how well prepared we are tonight, everybody. Okay, 2024. We need. I'm looking at the long. No, it can't be Florida.
It is Oilers, Bruins, Avalanche. Well, actually, the odds have already changed. So there's 3 teams on top now. So Oilers, Bruins, Avalanche, then the Maple Leafs. Right. And then there's a big drop off to the Canes, the Devils, and then the Golden Knights and Stars.
Oh, really? Okay. The Devils, yeah, they should have done a little better. I think they've got a couple of players signed up. I think they're still building, so I think they're going to get closer. But yeah, the Leafs and the Oilers, it's the same old story, you know. Who's once you get past the core, who's going to do anything for you?
Right.
Particularly goaltending wise. But
you can't win a cup with just 2 guys.
Yeah. So how long are those 2 guys in Edmonton going to stick around is a huge question. So
as long as they keep getting paid outlandish salaries, I'm sure they're fine with it at this point. They're getting their personal accolades. So
that's true. There have been a couple of things going on. One is I was quite interested in was the fact that the Vancouver Canucks are paid Oliver Ekman-Larsson to go away.
Yeah, 4 years of a salary. They're going to be paying that till 2031.
That's right.
And Arizona still has some of that too. They retain 12% of his salary. So
that's right, 12%. Yeah. So there's the breakdown. I mean, Arizona's probably happy to pay that to get to the cap, pay it to get to the cap floor. No, does it count against the cap? No. So they're just paying it out. So even in the first 2 years, he's going to get nearly $14 million.
Yeah. And he can still sign somewhere else because he's now an unrestricted free agent. So
yeah, so crazy stuff. And it does save them apparently $10 million though over the next.
Yeah.
So fair enough, but it's madness.
Well, when you take on horrible deals like that, then when a guy's production goes as far down as his did, there's not much you can do. You can't rebuild with that on your salary cap hit.
I think he'd be as well just re-signing for Arizona and just say for nothing, like the $12 million they're going to be paying him anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's not worth near what he was 4 years ago.
No,
his numbers have just taken a nosedive for the most part. So,
but I mean, for him personally, like it's a windfall.
Yeah.
Like, pay me to go away. Okay. And I'm sure somebody.
And he gets out of a loser. So,
yeah, someone will take him on.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some other bunch of losers. I was just looking at they acquired him for and forward Connor Garland for Eriksson, Beagle, and one of my former Stars favorites when I started going to see them, the Antoine Roussel, the fighting Frenchman. I've still got a Roussel jersey, and they got the number 9 pick. And it was a fairly big deal that at the time. But so there's going to be a few of these, I guess. The top 20 free agents list.
There's going to be some movement this offseason.
Yeah, now Kane and Taze are available, but there's health issues there. Who knows? Somebody will take Kane on probably. Killorn, 64-point scorer. Well,
Yep. 2 Stanley Cups. Some leadership in the locker room, maybe.
No, yeah. Orlov. Now, I actually quite like Dmitry Orlov. I think he had a great season there in Boston, so not a bad player. I wouldn't mind him. Bertuzzi, nah.
Yeah, Boston is not going to be able to hold on to much from what they had acquired at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I don't know
if anything.
I don't think they're going to have quite the same year. I mean, that was a record-breaking year. It's never going to happen anyway again. But.
Yeah, which has to be even more of a disappointment for them to go out in the first round.
Yeah.
Because that team's not staying together that way.
I don't think so, no. And then you have Ryan O'Reilly. Nah, I don't know.
He's going to be one of those players that just gets passed around for the last few years of his career, I think.
I think so. Now, the next one's interesting. Aiden Hill, or I call him Aiden. I guess it's Aiden. Aiden Hill. Yes, he won the Stanley Cup there. I don't think he's all that great. I think he's like middling. But
yeah, I mean, he's like a Darcy Kemper or a Grubauer. I mean, the team won it in front of him. He contributed a little bit, but he's not a full season starting goalie. I don't think.
I don't think he's bad. He just, I don't think anyone really tested him there. So
yeah,
Barbashev, Tarasenko. I wonder if he'll stay in New York.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they had the salary cap room to keep a few guys that they acquired at the end, I think.
Yeah, I think they might keep him. Patrick Kane, well, of course, he's free now. He's a free agent. Hip surgery will keep him out 4 to 6 months. Well, he's a definite star signing then.
Right.
He's a knackered old veteran. We'll take him.
Yeah. He's broken and unproven. We can take that on.
Leadership in the dressing room. That's what we're looking for. Yes.
Yeah, with Patrick Kane.
Yeah. Jason Zucker, Michael Bunting. So I don't know what our resident Mike DiCarlo, our resident Leafs fan, would think about Bunting. He's okay.
They don't tend to like players that get suspended in the playoffs over there in Toronto. So,
indeed,
he's the new Kadri.
The new Kadri, yeah. That's actually a very good comparison. Frederick Anderson of the Hurricanes. Well, not a bad.
Good goalie. We'll see if he's. I don't know how old he is.
He is. I don't know. He's in his 30s.
No. So maybe one more good size contract, but
maybe he's got one in him.
Short term.
Yeah, 2 or
3 year contract, that kind of thing.
But he's also injury prone, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a tandem and you've got one good goalie and you're lacking another one, that could be the guy.
Yeah.
A few teams will snap him up, I would think. So here's one for you, JT Compher.
Yep, I think he's played past what he can for the Avs because he played too well this year, and we don't have enough room to keep somebody around that had a career year.
Yeah.
We've got to fill in some holes in the defense that we're probably going to be losing. And Comfort, I don't know if he was good enough to be the 2C. He was definitely a great third liner, and he definitely had a great season filling in for everybody this year. But that's probably going to be what moves him out of Colorado.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, he had a great year, but I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's.
He could play first line on some teams, but
he could. You guys need to make some space.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few teams that would definitely love to have him first or second line. We were playing him third line, and he got moved up to the second line. And he's a good player, and he plays really hard. One of the best guys I've ever seen at shorthanded goals. I mean, anytime he was penalty killing, he was always looking for a shorty. So
yeah,
really good at that. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, someone's probably going to give him a reasonable contract, I would think.
Yeah, I'd say he's in for a big raise.
Yeah, probably in the sort of 6-7 million a year, maybe more.
Yeah, probably around there, 5 to 7, somewhere in there.
5 to 7, yeah.
And he's still pretty young, so good 6 or 7 year contract, something like that, maybe.
Yep. So Max Pacioretty, injury prone. I don't know. I wouldn't take a run at that. Max Domi, who played for the Stars, obviously picked up from the Blackhawks. I was pretty impressed with him. I mean, he did he was in some games was the only guy that was putting any effort in. I felt, like really trying. Gritty forechecker. Well, and his passing's pretty good. I think he could have done a little bit more goal scoring. Last year, he had a 1 year, $3 million contract. I think somebody will give him more than that, but not us because we've got no space. So
yeah, and I mean, part of him being down on scoring is being on the Blackhawks. I mean, they weren't good, so it's hard to score when nobody else is playing with you.
Not good is understating things.
Yeah,
they're rancid.
Yep.
But look what it got them. So
yeah, got him Bedard.
Bunting is going to want too much money. He'll leave. I would think so. And the Leafs must be going to have to do something cap wise there. And some of their guys are some of their core are going to want more money soon. So
yep.
Gottspier.
Gottspier.
I hate that guy's name. Well, not a bad pickup, I would think. I don't know if is he RHD or LHD. I don't know. Right hand, left hand, don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, not a bad player to pick up if you're looking for that. Radko Gudas, my prince, my sweet prince of fantasy.
Your hitter.
I'm telling you right now, and if we run a Bourbon and Boarding fantasy league, I'm giving away my secret. If you want to win the hits category, that's the man. Wins it for you every week. That category is yours if you pick that.
312 hits.
Yep. Top every year, top of the hits. This year he even scored a few goals, which was interesting.
Right.
Not many, don't get me wrong, but the hit always great with the hits. And he's always like, if you look, on Yahoo Fantasy, he's like number 580, like well below the point that anyone would just pick him up if they were just taking the next best player. So I dive right down there early on and get him. That's that category. Giving my secret away. 3 great goalies and him. And you're
loaded up.
4 and sometimes 5 of the stats loaded up.
Yeah.
Tristan Jarry. Injury
another goalie, another injury issue.
Injuries, you see, I wouldn't touch that. Jonathan Toews, never liked him that much anyway.
It'd be interesting to have Taves and Taves on the same team.
It would, wouldn't it? And they're not even related.
Right. But I don't think we're going to make a move for him.
No, I wouldn't. I think he might struggle. He might struggle if some bottom feeder might take him, like the Stars.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Maybe we could swap one of our other old Crocs for him,
Right.
It's just a different set. On the other arm, rather than one that's got a bad back, we'll take a guy that's got immune problems, just a variety for the physio, What the hell do I do with this?
Right.
So here's a player I don't really know that much about, Erik Gustafsson. Again, Mike can tell us.
Led all free agent defensemen with 42 points.
42 points, but he was only used in 2 playoff games. I don't know why, but someone's going to take a look at him.
Questionable.
Questionable, yeah. And then a player that's pretty good, I think, Evan Rodriguez. So
he was one we were really happy with. We weren't expecting to get what we got out of him, and he played really well, and he probably did the same thing Comfer did and played himself off of the team. Yeah, and by playing too well. So, I mean, we're going to have some free space because, of course, Landeskog is out for the whole season. So that's a $7 or $8 million free up. But that can't be spread across 1 or 2 players. That's got to be spread across 4 or 5 players, I think. So
you're looking at your 2-way signings, your young guys or fourth line guys, I guess, third, fourth line guys.
Or some people are going to have to take a hometown discount if they want to stay on a contender.
Well, not Nathan. He's taking the hometown raise.
He took the hometown discount for this last contract so that we could keep Rantanen and Landeskog. But he got his cup and he's going to get paid now. So
highest paid player in the league.
Yeah.
Well, he does deserve it. Absolutely, he deserves it. Highest paid player in the league, and I don't think you can argue with it. He's worth every penny. Obviously, that sets the bar for others, though. So
yeah. Yep, he's making a bit over the next few years. I think he's going up by like $6 million a year from what he was at. So
yeah,
which I still think it's hilarious that we talk about these being big contracts, and then you look at any of the other major sports, and it's like, oh, you're making $8 million a year, and
I get that in a month.
That's
a week. Sorry, I get
that's what our rookies make. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right. I'm a fourth string pitcher.
Yeah,
for the whatever I get.
I pitch
in a week.
1 inning a night every 3 nights, and
I
get
make
paid millions
$8 million a week. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a real sport here. It's not about the money,
right?
It's about the glory. So there's interesting notes at the bottom here. Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, they're expected to either re-sign or retire.
Right.
I'd love to have Bergeron, but who wouldn't? I think he's still got a year in him, a couple of years in him.
A year, maybe. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what those guys might take the very small hometown contract just to go another year.
Just for another year, yeah. I could see that happening. And then Luke Shen he's expected to re-sign with Toronto.
Yeah.
Means nothing to me. He's all right. Now, the last one, though, I find funny, and it's a shame because I do love him as a person, John Klingberg. I've got his big signed thing up here. 10 goals. John Klingberg's 10 goals were second amongst free agent defensemen, but he's a combined minus 53 the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's not good for a defenseman.
Not really what you're looking for in a defenseman.
Few goals, but he allowed way more than he scored.
Yeah,
by a lot.
This is a guy who completely screwed the pooch when Dallas did offer him a contract to re-sign him.
Yeah,
and he turned it down because he thought he would get more money elsewhere. And it's just since then has just disintegrated for him. So
yeah, probably
kicks himself every minute. I know he sacked his agent after that, but I think he thought he was worth more than he was, and there you have it. So,
and the market proved otherwise.
Indeed, the market very much proved otherwise. But there was a huge trade between our two teams.
Yeah,
I was so excited. There's a trade.
Yeah, something's already happening, and it's our teams.
It's our teams. So for Frederick Olofsson, who I seem to recall we signed, he was an undrafted player that we signed, I think.
Yeah.
Not bad, actually. He's one of those fourth line guys that you can pull in at any time and he'll do a job. Never going to set the world alight, but he puts in a good shift.
Yeah.
So I think that's, as you were saying, that's the kind of guy you're probably going to get for some of your positions that you need to fill.
Yeah,
you can rely on that guy to when he's called up to give you 2 or 3 good games. It's effort. He puts in the effort. Sure. So we got future considerations, and I'm hoping that means that you're not going to kick our ass as much when we play you. Is that the consideration? You're going to be more considerate to us?
I don't think that'll happen. Actually, we split this year, didn't we?
We did, actually. We didn't do that badly. You had one blowout against us, and then we had one blowout against you.
Yeah, the one that I did the watch along, and you guys kicked our ass.
Yeah, and then it happened the other way. So, I see Connor Hellebuck's at the top of this trade board.
Yeah, because he said he wants out.
Yeah. So there's another guy.
So he's not a UFA or an RFA, but he wants out.
And also DeBrincat, Luc Dubois. So yeah, there's Scheifele. So there's 3 Jets players are desperate to get out. Who can blame them?
Yeah, half the team's gonna want out based on what's going on. So
John Gibson, Erik Karlsson. Well, he had one of the better years he's had this year for a while, Karlsson.
Yeah.
Nick Schmaltz, he's a player I quite like, Nick Schmaltz.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list of players right there.
Not bad. Yeah, Gibson can still give you something as long as he's not your number one. Connor Garland. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to some action. And the draft is in like a week or so. The draft's coming up.
Yeah, everything comes up so quick after the season.
Yeah.
Well, after the Stanley Cup playoffs, the season's been done for a month and a half.
I know.
So,
well, I mean, if that had gone to game 7, it would have been not tonight, the 19th, I think was the last game scheduled or something.
Yeah.
Or some ridiculous, and so you're halfway over June.
And that's why repeating is so hard, because you're playing almost 2 full months more than most of the other teams. It's crazy.
So I would like to thank Darius, my brother from another mother, Darius Munchausen, for a $1.49 super sticker, a red box of popcorn. How surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising. So this is a little clip for you, Darius.
Great day for hey, boys?
Did you get her done?
Just kidding, we don't give a fuck.
So thank you, Darius. Thank you, everyone, for being here, hearing us ramble on inanely about hockey when there's no hockey anymore. There hasn't been for like 3 weeks, really.
A lot longer for me.
A lot longer for you, yeah. But I don't know. So there's there'll be some trade activity, I'm sure. There always is a little bit around the draft, and then there's the draft. And then
yeah. I mean, the draft, we know what's going to happen. And really in hockey, unless you're getting, those top 5 or 6 maybe picks, you're probably not going to be playing the guy anytime soon. I mean, most of the guys get developed before they end up on the big team, unless they're in those top 5 draft picks. So
I am excited about the some of the guys, the younger guys that are coming up for the Stars. They've done their junior time in the juniors.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see Bork and Stankoven getting a good shot at the big team, if you want to call it that.
The dance.
I think they're going to be in there because, for one thing, they're going to be cheap. Entry-level contracts. So we could do with shedding a few overpriced veterans. So
I saw too many of our minor leaguers this year. I'd prefer not to see them anytime again soon.
Right. Well done, guys. Go back and marinate a bit longer. Yes.
Yeah, you got to play, and you kept us somewhat afloat. But there wasn't much down there ready to go yet.
No. So apparently the Knights had a parade today. Apparently they had a parade.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What did they do? Go down just the strip?
The strip. I noticed it. I mean, I don't have I wish I'd bookmarked some of them, but there was a lot of pictures. I particularly remember that the picture the seconds after they'd won. Obviously the team's going mental on the ice. They went up to the stands and they're all like this on their phones. Like, what, really? Yeah. I mean, I would be practically having a heart attack with excitement.
Yeah.
And they're like this.
Well, that's because most of them are probably tourists.
Yeah. I was a bit... And then they had outside... Here's the scenes outside. Well, fair enough. There was a few people outside the arena. The strip, nothing.
Right.
Just nothing.
Nobody cared. The only people that cared were in the sports book, and they were cashing in their tickets.
Yeah, so they did have a bit of a parade. I did see the Twitter feed for one of the major networks, and their affiliate in Vegas was getting shit because it was terrible coverage.
Yeah,
don't know how to cover a winning parade, I guess, but
well, we had a parade here too, but for the wrong sport.
Oh, yeah.
Denver
Nuggets.
Won the
Nuggets.
Won the championship. Yep, on what was that? Monday night, Tuesday night. I don't know. I don't watch the NBA, but yeah. So Denver's had a parade 2 years in a row.
So, I mean, a huge crowd around that bus there, as you can see. They just get, it looks like one of their best car parks there, one of their nicest car parks. So I heard that for the parade for the Nuggets, there was like several shootings.
I don't
all sorts
know.
of
At the
shit kicked
parade,
off.
there were shootings after the game near the Pepsi Center.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of shit kicked off, basically. Yeah. I mean,
Come
fair
to
enough.
expect it.
Fair enough, because if it had been in Canada, like in Vancouver or Montreal, they would have been burning buses and, all sorts of shit would have been going on there too. So,
Flipping police cars.
flipping police cars, yeah.
Flipping Mounties horses.
Yeah.
Doing something to the Mounties horses.
Doing something to the horses and then to the Mounties. Yeah. So I should congratulate the people of the people visiting Vegas for their steadfast support of that team through thick and thin.
Like I said, Tugs is literally the only person I know that actually likes Vegas.
Yeah.
And she lives there, so.
The funny thing was that recently, not that long ago, just before I went down to Cancun, I visited my son in Calgary, which is the nearest big city to me. So I went into the city for the day and went to a sports bar. And I had because the Stars were playing, and I was going to be able, I knew we could watch it at the bar. I had my Stars jersey on.
Yeah.
The bar was empty, apart from me and my son, and 3 people with Vegas Golden Knights jerseys on. all who had got them on holiday.
Right.
All from Calgary, but they got them on holiday. So
yeah. Vegas, all of their teams are every sport that they have there, it's always going to be more tourists or going to the games than I think people that live there. Because, I mean, yeah, you're there, you hear that a game's going on, or you travel to Vegas to see your team play against Vegas because you get to go to Vegas for a few days and catch a game from your team. So, and
I would definitely do that. I mean, it's on my list of places to go to get a Stars game in is Vegas.
Yeah,
I'd definitely do it.
And they put on a great show before the game, from everything I've heard and the few that I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to get there like an hour or 2 hours early because there's a lot of stuff goes on.
Yeah, I think they get all the people from medieval times, the cast from medieval times, to just go over there and put on a show or something.
I mean, you don't get actual knights like real ones. It's from medieval times.
I'm sure they're trained.
I've never quite seen the attraction of those. I've been to a couple of them in the past, like medieval times type things, and I've thought, this is a bit cheesy,
Yeah, I've never gone to one. I've never gone to a Renaissance festival either.
No. Well, at least at that you can get a little bit more ordinary people cosplaying it and maybe some nice folk music or whatever,
Right.
But medieval times,
turkey leg.
I know those guys are actors up there. That's not a real king.
Right.
And you get the food's usually. It's not a real good. That buxom wench isn't real, although the buxom maybe.
The buxom part is.
It
probably isn't.
Probably isn't.
Especially if you're at the one in Vegas.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I know this has nothing to do with hockey, but what the hell? There's no hockey to talk about. Very first time I went to Vegas, we flew into the airport, got off the plane, and we're walking through to get our bags, and virtually the first woman I saw had huge fake boobs.
Yeah.
And my wife said, "Vegas."
And that's okay.
We're in Vegas. We've made it. That was funny.
That is Vegas. And then go down to the old strip, Fremont Street, and half of them are just now walking around with pasties on, trying to get you to take pictures with them. So
I love the old strip up there. The Fremont Street's the best part.
Yeah.
So Tim, welcome. Tim, good to see you, buddy. Jacob is here. Good to see you. The very wonderful Davina Duckworth. Awesome to see you, and happy early Father's Day. Well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, Brahma. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Indeed. Yeah. So, pat ourselves in the back.
I bought a 36-inch Blackstone griddle, propane-powered griddle. So I did that 2 weeks ago, and told them that it was my Father's Day present, and then I've been cooking all sorts of stuff in the past. Well, except for the week I was gone, I guess. But breakfast food, some Philly cheesesteaks. I even did steaks on it, and that turned out pretty good because it sears the crap out of them. So, yeah, good stuff.
I'll bear that in mind when I come down to visit you.
Yeah, well, you'll probably more enjoy if I throw a brisket into the smoker for about 26 hours. But oh
yes.
But then breakfast definitely on the griddle.
Steaks for breakfast, I think, is good. Steak and eggs for breakfast.
Steak and eggs and some biscuits and gravy.
Lovely. I'll bear that in mind. But you do realize that they're going to ban those
propane griddles?
Propane gas, anything gas is going to be banned.
They're going to try.
Yeah, fuck them.
What they'll end up doing is the same thing that they try to do with guns and just try to get rid of the ammo, not the guns themselves.
Yes, yeah. You
buy up all the propane.
But no gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Monkey Jeebus says, this is live. Like, you know, I mean, we all know Brian is an animatronic mummy. I am an animatronic mummy. I am an animatronic mummy. You're right. This is Skynet. It's just around the corner. Trust me.
Getting there.
Sorry, go ahead, mate.
I said we're getting there.
We're getting there.
And we can't bring this one up, but Smokey a little while ago when we were talking about the trade said, gonna miss future considerations. His contributions will definitely be missed.
That's right. He's my favorite player.
Yeah.
He puts in more effort than the rest of them, that's for sure.
Yep.
I missed this one as well by Sumo. The Maple Leafs need to blow it up and give Matthews and Marner to the Islanders for a 7th round pick and some retained salary. Well, you see, I would go for that deal if future considerations was involved. I think that's the guy the Leafs really need.
Yeah. Sometimes future considerations do turn into good things.
Yeah, I've often wondered, have you tracked that? I mean, does it really happen?
Well, hell, the one of the future considerations was either Makar or Byram. I mean, from the Ottawa Senators trade of Duchesne to us. Well, I guess I don't know. It may not have been future considerations. It was a conditional draft pick. So not future considerations, I guess.
Can a future consideration turn into a draft pick?
I don't know.
It could.
I
don't know
would think so.
Means. Never known what it means. Right. Maybe it'll buy, it's your turn to buy a pint next time you're in town or something.
Right. Yeah.
You can take us it's your turn to pay at the strip bar. Next time we're playing in Vegas.
Yeah. And we get to pick which one.
Yeah. Anywho,
definitely not Glitter Gulch.
No. So, yeah, there's not been an enormous amount of other things to talk about. I did find a couple of interesting things on Twitter. I don't know if we're going to be able to play the audio in this, but I'd like to. We mocked Canada earlier. Nevada mocked Canada earlier, but this is Canada.
A bit high. That's a little bit better.
For all you Canadians, to give you a bit of nostalgia. Back to the years the Habs were winning everything. The old time hockey night in Canada. Theme.
And the old Nordiques.
Yeah. The Nordiques are there, yeah. So that's for all us Canadians to make up for constant. I mean, the thing is, all the players that won were Canadian, so most of them. As you can see, all I've been doing is bookmarking things on Twitter. This is actually nothing to do with hockey again, but it is funny. David Coverdale, the singer, has the greatest Twitter feed. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's very funny. And I like this one particularly.
His United Stonehenge is workers move the stones back 1 hour.
That's right. And they got to move them forward again 6 months later.
You know who else has a great Twitter feed, but it's more on the political side? Theo Fleury, the former
I follow him.
Hockey player. Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite the conservative gentleman.
He's pretty big.
Pretty based. A few of them are,
and
actually.
really, really doesn't like the Canadian government because
No,
I'm pretty
no.
sure that's where he's at still. So
I don't know who does. So, but him and Kerry Price is fairly based too, I have to say.
Yeah.
So, but, he's constantly being photographed with his going out hunting. So,
nice.
Here was one. This is the 1915. This was more exciting than the recent Stanley Cup final. The 1959 Stanley Cup final, semi-final, game 7. And this is unusual because it's 1959. It's not bad coverage.
Yeah.
Now, bonus points for anyone in the chat that can name these two teams. It does mention one of them in the. There you go, Boston Leafs. Yeah. So Harry Lumley is the goalie for Boston. He was the goalie for the Leafs apparently at one point. He takes a puck right in the face. Blood, he mentions there's blood.
Has to wait for the stoppage.
It goes off, gets stitched up, and comes back.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's Leafs, Boston. I think it's fascinating footage. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the technology.
One,
Now they-
Lumley.
Now they put fake adverts up, of course.
Yeah.
So that's from 1959. That's possibly some of the best old footage I've actually ever seen.
It's better than most of the color footage that we got from the 80s.
It is. That stuff was shit. Like,
Yeah.
we talk about 480k or 480p, and then they must have been on like, I don't know, what's a quarter of 480? 120.
Right. 144.
This is a red line. This is a blue line. This is
I still can't believe that we watched it that way back in the day. Watched any sports that way back in the day. I mean, you look at old football even, and it's almost impossible to see who's catching the ball, who's doing anything in some of those old footage.
I know, and yet at the time
it seemed fine. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I mean, hell, we used to watch.
We've just gotten so used to how clear it is now that looking back at it, it just looks like trash, but it seemed fine back in the day.
I remember watching stuff because I'm a bit older, watching it in black and white. So you think it was bad in shitty old color in the 80s. I think go back to the 60s when I started watching soccer, football. It was in black and white.
Yeah.
Like, it was like that footage there. It was like, well, first of all, what you didn't know
which team is yours, the darker gray.
That's right. Our team playing dark gray. Woo! Where's the ball? You know, the ball would just disappear in this massive white or dark or whatever.
Yeah. I had a 13-inch black and white that I had in my room, and with the dials, and you had to tune it every time you changed the channel because you had to kind of bring the picture into focus, and then the rabbit ears.
Move the rabbit ears are a circular aerial.
I didn't see Mario in color until I was probably 11 or 12 years old. My parents would not let me hook the Nintendo up to the color TV. It was, you've got your 13-inch black and white, and there's where you're playing Mario.
There's colors in this game?
Yeah. Didn't bother me. I was happy. I had a TV that I had in the room that I could play Nintendo on anytime I wanted. So it was better than most of my friends had. They had to wait till their dad was done with the TV so that they could play their games.
No, we were the same. We had we had two TVs in the house when I was a kid. One was eventually we had two. One was a black and white, larger TV. And when I say larger, I thought at the time it was big. It was probably like 14, 16, 20 inches, you know. And then eventually a black and white 12-inch portable.
Yeah.
But my father bought the first color television in our town.
Oh, yeah?
And he knows it was the first one because the store that he bought it at, they said, "You're the first one." So
he was popular for a bit.
He was, but the problem was everything was still being broadcast in black and white.
Oh,
so it's like, okay, where's the color? I mean, as a kid, I thought magically it would just appear in color now.
That's funny.
And then there'd be like 3 programs in color, so you'd watch them even if they were just
Even
shit.
if they were just the dumbest shows. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know what this was. I did. This was a no, I can't get the volume to go down a bit.
Thanks, boys.
So it's an advert.
I'm Gordy Halliday.
Okay, Samurai. The greatest advert ever. So we'll let that play and see what happens.
That's a Paul Correa.
we could beat these kids?
And I heard Gordie Howe's name.
So much bigger and faster these days.
So obviously the great one is in this. Can you hear his voice? Yeah, this one.
There's Correa.
Hey guys,
Bingo.
I'm starting to sound like old man. We were pretty good in our days, remember?
No one can forget you, Gordy. You set the standard.
Gordy. No one could forget you.
Mario, what about the night you scored 5 goals?
I know, that was a great game though.
Yep.
Hey, it wasn't easy facing all the Wayne's records.
Hopefully we're not getting copyright struck in some way from this. Who cares? Last show though.
Yeah, you know, records are great, but nothing like left in the cup.
Something the Oilers of today have never done.
I still get a thrill of watching the boys skate, whether it's in the pros or on the pond.
I have
Yeah,
met
that's
Gordie
what
Howe.
the
I was lucky enough to meet him once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is this supposed to be like Field of Dreams?
Absolutely.
Kind of.
How can you not?
I think so.
Hey, you guys bring your gear?
Yeah, lace them up.
Yeah, come on, join us.
That was funny because Gretzky looked like Gordon Bombay.
No, thanks, boys. It's your turn now.
Oh, how corny is that?
Hey, boys.
You're gonna fuck them up. Yeah, Field of Dreams. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm not sure
I'd
what it
never
was.
seen that.
No, I've never ever even knew that existed till Hockey Samurai on Twitter posted it. I have no real idea what it says. It was a commercial, but I didn't see any product. So
May have been a commercial for the Stanley Cup playoffs or something, or for
just the
before the
league.
draft or something like that. Yeah.
Just the league in general. It's nice though. That was actually it was quite nice.
Yeah.
Leaving my cynical side. This was a good one. Patrick Roy winking at Sandstrom. I like that. And you can see that on the.
He was great at being a dick.
Oh yeah. Hey, could be back in the NHL.
Most likely, it sounds like. And they did end up winning the championship. We were talking about that last show, that they were on the verge of winning the championship.
Yeah. Well, and there's the official Dio figure. I was thinking of buying this. It's nothing to do with hockey again. Anyway,
Dio and the devil.
Dio and the devil. Yes.
Dio went down to Georgia looking
Dio
for
went
Silver
down to
Steel.
So Tim's talk. Hey, buddy. Thanks, my friend. As super chatted. 5 buckaroos. $5 in real dollars. Did you watch the Tate interviews? I'm looking at the Andrew Tate interviews. I guess you mean. I'm looking at covering more controversial topics moving forward. Tired of the woke garbage, Little Mermaid, etc. Well, I think we're all tired of the woke garbage. I think the general population is starting to show pushback, which is something interesting.
Yeah, I could have gone on the dump earlier today, but it was just like, I can't talk about the freaking Flash again. I've done it for 2 days already.
I have no interest in seeing it or talking about it.
I saw it not in the theater, and that was the only way I was going to be seeing it.
So
But no, I haven't watched the Tate stuff. I've never watched anything from Tate, even though people constantly tell me, especially with the jacket and everything, that I look like a knockoff Tate.
No, I'd say he probably looks like a knockoff of you.
Yeah, that's probably more true.
So thank you, Tim, for that, and we'll play a little clip.
But know this shit hard. If ever there comes a time when it gets down to the marrow and it's you and me, kid, I will lay you the fuck out.
We'll be talking about that movie over the summer, I think. I got a feeling we're going to...
Yeah, we'll cover a little bit of hockey
I
movies,
think so.
Maybe some rivalry, maybe some trade trees.
We got to do the big trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's an
Big
interesting. We can just do a breakdown of what's his who is it? Steve Dangle. Just do a breakdown of his video. We'll just watch his video and break it down with him.
Good point. Yeah, we'll probably do
That's
that.
probably the easiest way because he knows a hell of a lot more than we do about it. So
I think just
and
about
he already did the work.
just about every sentient being in the world knows more about it than I do. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just briefly, I need to ask you. You did so. You have seen The Flash.
Yeah.
What do you...
I think it was a 4.5 to 5 star out of 10. 4.5 to 5 out of 10, not star. No, it's a serviceable popcorn flick. It suffers from Ezra Miller, and it's not Ezra Miller because of Ezra Miller, all the crazy crap that he does outside of movies. It's just that the dude sucks at acting, and having him play 2 or 3 different versions of himself is even more annoying. And I think he really does probably have a split personality because he just falls into a lispy gay voice just randomly throughout the movie. I mean, it's like it's weird. You can't even use the same voice throughout the movie. And I don't know if that was when they were doing the reshoots, he just decided, I'm going full bore into it, or what it was, but
leaning hard into it. Yeah.
The guy can't act, and he really is the worst part of the movie. If you take him out of that and put any other actor in there, it's probably a 6 or a 7. I mean, it wasn't the worst movie. It just, Ezra Miller is extremely annoying. And there were problems with the story, but overall it's a popcorn flick. I mean, it's not so, even for a comic book movie, it was more of a popcorn flick type comic book movie than an actual story where anybody's invested in it. Yeah, and the CGI was horrible.
Yeah, the director's trying to claim that was deliberate.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't deliberate. It was just that bad. And they really can't do the Flash. X-Men does it better. Every time they had Quicksilver on, much better than anything that they've done with the Flash and the slow-mo scenes.
So my feeling is that hearing everything you and other people have said is, well, okay, so 6, let's say it was a 6, like Tim says. That's not good enough for the amount of money they spent making it.
No, and it's not worth going to spend your money on it either.
No.
Wait till it streams. There's nothing special in this movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. And I'm not even really much of a Keaton fan as far as Batman. I never really cared. A lot of people are seeing it because of that. I mean, I'm giving it a 4 or a 5, just as somebody who just really doesn't care.
It's not woke, as Tim says, but it sounds to me like it'd be something that'd be worth watching on streaming once it reaches the free streaming, or say free Amazon or Netflix or whatever. But
whatever.
I think it'll
be on HBO Max or Max, whatever they're calling it now.
I watched Extraction 2 today. So
did I.
Which is, well, there you go. We might have been watching it simultaneously for all I know.
Yes, just like Fievel and American Tales.
Indeed, that's right.
Wishing on the same star.
So that's a movie that could have been on the big screen, in my opinion. I mean, why should
both of the Extractions have been good.
Yeah, brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was great action. Love the real-time action sequences, like the prison break stuff, and it just kicks ass. And I'd watch that any day over the lame Disney, Marvel, DC shit that's being churned out now. So
Yeah.
but then
No, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. And when you look at Hemsworth and that, you think, what a waste in the last few Thor things, you know? I mean, that guy's wasted.
He's actually a pretty good actor, and he does a pretty good accent in this one too.
Yeah. I don't think Arnold's in it though, is he? If Tim's talking about Extraction.
But there was
2.
an Arnold movie that just got released also today.
Well, is it a show or a movie? Fubar?
Fubar. It's a movie, I think, where his daughter is in the CIA and he doesn't know it, and he's retired, like 3-letter agency or something like that. I don't know. It didn't really interest me.
No. I mean, I've spent most of my watching time recently watching Korean stuff. So, you know,
I started watching
some great movies.
Yeah, I started watching some Japanese show on Smokey saying Fubar is a show. Some show about sumo wrestlers.
Oh, that I've got that on my list.
With,
Survivor. I think it's Survivor.
Yeah, something like that. And it's got like he used to be a former world champion in judo or something, and that's who stars in it. And yeah, he's tried to go into sumo or something, and so they made a show about it.
Yeah,
it's been interesting. I mean, it's a little bit goofy, like anime style goofy. I mean, in the second episode, I think the main character stares at a girl's tits jiggling for about 20 minutes while they're on a date. I mean, which didn't bother me at all, but I mean, it was exactly like something you'd see in an anime. I mean, he just sat there every scene, you know, they're talking or they're at the carnival and she's shooting a gun and he's looking straight down her shirt the whole time, and it's got your point of view on it, or his point of view on
real
it.
Life though. No, that's
yeah, when they're that big and jiggling like hers are, then yeah, that's pretty much where the eyes are going. But
so Davina's gonna watch Nobody. That was a great movie. Nobody.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah,
that was a very good movie.
It's got that great scene on the bus.
Yep.
But there's a movie that's got an even better. If you want an action movie that's got a great fight scene just like that, if not better, it's The Roundup, which is a Don Lee movie, Korean movie. He has this brilliant fight scene on a bus.
Yeah,
Ma Dong-suk is his name. He anglicizes it to Don Lee. He was in. I've never seen it. He was in Eternals. He's been in a couple of Western things.
Okay,
brilliant actor. I call him the slapper because one of his signature moves in movies is just to slap people,
full on slap,
just slap them like that.
Yeah. After Extraction 2 today, I'd already seen the movie, but it immediately started going into what is the name of the movie? Dragged Across Concrete. Yeah. So rewatched most of that because that is a good movie too.
It is actually,
kind of ultra violent, a little bit gory, but it was a good movie. I liked it.
Cool. No, I've watched a lot of great Korean action movies recently, so
yeah,
it's just a wealth of stuff out there. But the Roundup movies, there's a new one out which I did want to go and see in the cities. It's a series of them that he does. He's a cop, action movies. Third one was Roundup No Way Out. Was out in the cinema, but it was in one freaking cinema about a 2-hour drive from me. So I'm gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
I don't go to the cinema much, but I would have supported that one in the cinema if it had been on the cinema this side of Calgary, not the other side.
Did you hear the bad news? Did you hear the bad news about our 3-body problem series?
Oh, is it canned?
No, but Ryan Johnson is on it.
Oh no, he's gonna ruin it. Oh,
yeah.
God, no.
Yeah,
no,
so we may just have to stick with the Chinese version.
Stick with the Chinese. I actually read that 4th book you were talking about, though.
Yeah, so did I. It was good.
I read it. You told me about it, and I went and read it, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I mean, the guy said I wrote it as a fan.
A fan fiction type thing. But he got the blessing from Xijin Liu.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first hour of it's, or not the first hour, the first maybe quarter of the book is just a love story that really didn't fit in to me. But after they kind of got past that, it started picking up and got really crazy to the end.
It did, and it did in effect tie up or explain a number of things, which
Yeah.
was interesting. But I actually felt the one weakness of the Qian Lu original trilogy was that he's not, and maybe it's the English translation to blame, but the stuff like the personal relationships were sometimes a bit stilted or weird. They didn't come across as organic. Like, well, this guy's with this girl. It didn't really seem to, the way it was written, it was like, I don't care. Can we get to the next bit of science fiction, please?
Yeah, and that could also be a side effect of because it's so sciencey and science fictiony. I mean, especially if your characters, for the most part, are scientists. I mean, they don't tend to be the most tuned in to the opposite sex.
Well, indeed, yes. And I felt that just was the way that those things were in those books. It just felt like it was written by a guy who loves science but doesn't really know people.
Yeah, it doesn't know interpersonal connections.
So Tim is saying that Squid Game Season 2 trailer has dropped. That is great news because I've been looking for that.
And they're remaking Squid Games Americanized too.
Nah, don't do it. Just not do
they're
that.
doing it, but yeah.
Don't.
It's not going to be any good.
It will not. And I do love Squid Games. It's got some of my favorite Korean actors in it. I actually watched a Gong Yu. He's the guy in the railway station, Gong Yu, that kind of tempts people in. He's in the second season, though. I think he might have a bigger part because he's a pretty big star. I just watched one of his earlier action movies, The Suspect, yesterday. Very Jason Bourne, but absolutely kicked ass, like most of these Korean action films do. It was just brutal stuff. Brilliant. There is a teaser and an official trailer. I don't know whether both are the same thing, maybe. I don't know. And of course, when I watched Squid Game, I didn't know all the actors in it, but now I've seen dozens of other things they're in because a lot of them were quite well known.
Yeah.
It was good. How they're going to do a second season, I don't know what they're going to do. I wonder if we should show this trailer before we wrap up.
We could.
Let's do it.
Especially on my side, it's not a problem.
And I don't really care on the YouTube side. We'll get away with it, I'm sure. So we're going to show... they're both the same length. I don't know if that means they're the same trailer before, but of course he's one of these guys that doesn't get killed in it because he's not in the game. So
Right.
Most of the others are dead. So.
He can come back as the big star.
Yeah, that looked bloody good, I have to say. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that was kind of that ended up being a huge hit over here, especially in our corner of YouTube. Everybody seemed to like it. So
yeah, and I was skeptical at first, and then I watched it. I thought, no, I get it now. That was good and awesome. And when I see the quality of the actors that were in it, and I get it now because it was one of the first Korean things I watched.
Yeah. After you get kind of used to the extreme overacting that some Korean actors and shows do, then I mean, yeah, you can get into it a little bit easier.
They have a style
to exclaim a lot.
Yeah, and it's more noticeable on television than it is in the movies. The movies are less of that, unless it's a comedy. But in television, they have their tropes in Korea, like we have our tropes. One is that everything's exaggerated. The comedy is exaggerated, and there's a lot of weeping and wailing in the drama.
Crazy.
If you get stabbed, usually you're up and about within minutes, and it's like nothing. You know, it's things like that.
They got their things, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them like that, but I still do love them. But there's more villains according to Tim. Yeah, so, but when I watched it the first time, I didn't get when the front man was revealed and it was Lee Byung-hun. I didn't get the fact that was a huge thing in Korea because they didn't know he was in the show and he's an enormous star.
No,
but Storm Shadow, I just watched G.I. Joe again recently, and my God, he was creating those absolutely brilliant. For some reason, my wife really, really likes him. I don't know what it is. She said, "Oh, that Storm Shadow guy, he's great." Yeah. Why? What's about him? What is it about him?
Like I said, he was great in Red too. He had one of the best parts in that movie. So
he did, yeah. Well, you would love. I would, although it's not action, though there's some action in it. It's Mr. Sunshine. It's on Netflix. It's a
Okay.
historical romantic drama series, and he's the male star of it.
Okay.
It's a period piece. It's set in starts in the 1890s and it goes on up till about 1910 or so, 1911. Where it's the end of the Joseon Emperor era of Korea, and they're starting to be dominated by the Japanese.
Uh-huh.
So it's a bad time for them. And he's a Korean guy who's grown up in America and goes back as an American soldier to be in the American embassy there. And he gets caught up in all the Japanese villains and they're taking over. He gets caught up with the Korean resistance fighters. Blah blah blah. Falls in love with this girl, and it's brilliantly acted. Beautiful sets and cinematography and costumes, and it's got some of the tropes in it. Like one of the tropes is that the romances take forever in Korean television. Like it's like 18 episodes in before they kiss, you know.
Right.
And they stare at each other a lot. They'll stand and stare.
Yeah, you all know that they're going to get together, but it's going to take a full season for it to happen. Kind of like it takes a full season for anything to happen in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's to be continued.
As Davina says, it's a slow man's. However, when it's got some of the best Korean actors in it, it's got the independence thing, it's got the Japanese villains, all this intrigue in it.
Yeah.
It's got a great Yakuza guy in it. The guy who plays a Yakuza in it, and it's just beautifully done. And it's like three male protagonists to start out as kind of antagonists, but end up by the end they respect each other and they actually end up on the same side. Just very heartwarming stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean he's made loads of other great things, but that's one of them. So if I could only find, I can find.
Good night, Jacob.
Good night, Jacob. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up in a second or two ourselves, I think.
Yeah. We've gone past hockey into the pop culture.
We have gone into the pop culture.
And even Korean pop culture.
Yeah. So it's just because that's what I'm into now, you know. I mean, people say, "Oh, are you going to go see The Flash?" Or what do you think about Little Mermaid? I don't know. I just watched the latest Korean action movie. I don't really care, you know.
Yeah.
Which is difficult.
And the Indian cinema has been pretty good too.
Oh, there's some great stuff there. So this is, it's full of scenes like this, beautifully photographed.
Yeah.
Magical stuff. And she turns out to be, she's a little sort of rich girl that he falls in love with, but she's actually a great sniper and she's training with the Korean fighters against the Japanese, you know, that kind of trope. She's cute. Okay. She's also in a Korean movie where you wouldn't want to watch it if you don't like sex in movies because it's I think it's called The Handmaiden's Tale or something. And it's nothing to do with nothing to do with that stupid Handmaid's Tale or whatever.
Right.
And it's full of sizzling little girl action.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I could go on about this show forever. It's a beautiful show, but
I'll check it out. I'm always looking for stuff to watch.
Mr. Sunshine, your wife will love it. Let me put it that way. It's beautiful.
That's the big thing with being up till 2 or 3 every night. I've got plenty of time to watch pop culture while I'm doing whatever else. Yeah. So
Davina knows the film I'm talking about, The Handmaid. It starts out as you think it's going to be this. It's like it's set in the 30s and it's this kind of period piece. It soon ends up with just about. It's a lot of girl on girl. It's like, didn't expect this. I thought it was going to be less like, you know, Jane Austen or something.
Did your wife leave the room?
No, but
she stuck around.
She's like, what is this? You know, she stuck around, but yeah, she's not a prude. But at the same time, it was like, this is maybe a little bit too much, you know.
There you go again, watching porn, Brian.
Yeah, well, so if she'd caught me watching it my own, that might have been different, but she was there too. Anyway, yeah, go watch some Korean. There's so much good Korean stuff on Netflix, on Tubi. Tons of these great Korean movies. So.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be doing something every week, but we'll probably do a show every month, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, we got
Between-
4 months till the season starts. If we do
Yeah.
one a month, it'll probably be an hour or two on something specialized, and
Yeah.
we'll do a little research or something and talk about it and figure out what we want to aim for each month. And if there's any big deals that break or something, maybe we can do a recap of each month on what's gone on in the NHL as far as where players have moved, where front office people have moved, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want everybody to enjoy their summers, and I kind of like my Saturday nights on summer in the summer too. There's lots of stuff to do
There's
in the
stuff to
summer that there
do.
isn't in the winter during the season. So
Exactly. So we'll give everyone a break, but we'll
I will
do a
let
couple of
Brian
specials.
heal up.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the end of the summer, I may have got a solution. It'll be surgical, whatever it is, but
yeah,
I hope so, because otherwise I'm gonna have to get one of these walker things, or get a wheelchair. I could crawl. I'm okay at crawling. But...
Well, then you just got to worry about the Canadian government. If you're asking for a wheelchair, they may not be able to get you one for 8 months, and they may offer you the other solution,
the Canadian healthcare solution. Yes. Have you thought about?
Have you considered offing yourself?
Have you considered not being here?
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks everyone for sticking with us through all these shows through the season. It's been a good laugh. And
we will give everybody notice before we do the fantasy hockey thing. Let everybody who wants to get in, even if we have to do a couple leagues or something.
We'll figure that out.
We should definitely get that going.
We'll figure that out between now and then, and we'll let you know when we're going to do these special shows here and there. We'll probably do movies. We'll do a trade thing, as you say, rivalries thing. Yeah. What have you got coming up in the near future, Brahma?
Yeah, the week just starts all over again. Sunday night, late night culture. Monday, yelling at parked cars. Tuesday, nothing. Thank goodness. Wednesday, the after show for the hump. That one I think I get on there at midnight or something like that, 11 or midnight. Thursday night throwdown. Friday, I do movies with Matt after Ascendant Art does their stuff, Little Chad and Slender Dad. And then, we'll do our stuff, when we feel the need to, and when we find something to do it on. So,
probably some point towards the end of July, we'll do the first one.
And I'll probably do some more gaming streams because I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4 with Mad and Krigler and Shags and Slender Dad and a few other people. So, and Smokey's actually, we're friends on Diablo 4 now, so maybe he'll be on some streams. But since I won't be doing a whole lot on my channel over here, I'll have to fire up some gaming streams just to have something going. So
it's good, mate. Yeah, it's good. And if we feel the urge to ever jump on and do a quick chat on anything on your Rumble or wherever, we can do that. So just let me know.
Sure.
So I got I'll plug. I would like to plug what I'm doing on. If I can hit the right freaking button, plug what I'm doing on Monday. Monday. So good to me. So I got a pretty special show lined up Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, an hour later than normal, to accommodate my special guest, who is vocalist Graham Bonnet, who those of us who are into metal will know from his days in Rainbow, the magnificent Alcatraz. Looking at these, listening to those albums a lot the last few weeks again with Wing Me Molstein and Steve Vai and all that stuff. Brilliant stuff. Michael Schenker Group, many other Impiliteri and Graham Bonnet Band. He's got now one of my favorite rock vocalists of all time. I am so stoked that he's coming on the show.
Nice.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Nick Visor's going to join me with the normal panel. Razor may be there, because Razor's a big Alcatraz fan. He's done interviews with Graham before, and he's got a great metal mythos on Alcatraz. So cool. He may pop in to that, but we're going to have a lot of fun. He's a lovely guy. Looking forward to that immensely.
Oh, and I made a connection for you in Dallas that somebody that would like to get on your show and talk about his music and about music in general with you. So,
well, Culture mentioned something, so thanks for bringing that up, mate. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. That's going to be. I'm always looking for interesting people. And the week after, just a quick plug. So this Monday's Grain Bonnet. Following Monday is this guy here with the ginger hair on the rooftop and Let It Be. Kevin Harrington, Beatles roadie.
cool.
Who? Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Who then went on to work with Rolling Stones, Derek and the Dominos, and later Judas Priest, Motorhead, and many other bands as tour manager. So. Road manager. So looking forward to that immensely. No, it's not Yoko Ono I'm talking to. It's Kevin Harrington.
Was he there on that appearance where Lennon was singing with? I can't remember who he was singing with, but Yoko just decided to kind of go crazy in the background.
The one with Chuck Berry and all that?
Yeah.
I don't think he was at that one because he worked a lot with George Harrison. So he did the All Things Must Pass album with him as the equipment guy, and then he he stage managed the concert for Bangladesh that George did. I think he was more of a George man in the end than a John. Certainly he avoided that particular excruciating pain.
that clip is still just like, what was she thinking?
Chuck Berry's going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Everybody's just kind of looking at her like, why is she here? What is happening?
Anyway, thanks everybody from both of us. Appreciate it all. Appreciate you all being here in the chat tonight. It's always great to hanging out with you, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again very soon.
Absolutely. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Keep on rocking. Play outro and end stream, as the button says.